there's an assumption among many that coach education or improved coach education in the United States will improve basketball throughout the United States at all levels. And intuitively it makes sense that if we have better coaches, they'll produce better players, better style of play, players that enjoy the game more, so on and so forth. The problem is the assumption that coach education leads to better coaches. I'm not sure that the correlation is quite as high as we might assume. What I see a lot is that coach education can expose coaches to new ideas, new methodology, new philosophies, new teaching approaches, etc. But that doesn't mean that the coaches will automatically adopt these and that the coaches will automatically adopt these correctly or in the correct situations or in the appropriate situations. So it is easy, in a sense, to expose people to different ideas, but the implementation of those ideas is much harder. And so rather than simply focusing on broad coach education or making sure that coaches have certifications, whether through the Youth Basketball Coaching Association or NFHS or USA Basketball or something like that, if we really want to improve coaching, I think we have to do a better job of evaluating coaches, mentoring coaches, developing coaches, and finding ways to promote the right coaches and give the respect to the right coaches, as opposed to just relying on a curriculum that somebody's going to study and maybe use, maybe not, maybe they'll take one thing but they'll ignore the rest. Because I think it's easy to pass a course, even if the ideas in the course are not your own. And when a coach has had, success, I think it's hard to, have that coach change what has given him or her that success. I think that's some of the issues with players, really great players, when they become coaches, is they rely on what they did as players and they attribute their success to what they did as players. And their success may not have anything to do with what they're attributing it to. It may have been some other factor or something that they don't even think of that led to their success. And instead, they're trying to coach players in the same way that they were coached, and it may not work as well for other players as it did for them. So I think rather than just concentrating on we need to get certifications or we need a more developed or more thorough coach education program, I think instead we need to figure out ways that we can develop coaches, nurture coaches, mentor coaches, promote coaches, evaluate coaches that will really drive the behavior change in coaches that we desire. So if we want coaches to change their behaviors and adjust to a new way of coaching, whether that is how they approach young children in terms of positioning or the mentality towards winning at younger ages, or the way that they're teaching different systems of basketball, or the way they're giving feedback. These are all coaching behaviors that may need to be modified, changed, improved. And I think simply relying on a short course, whether it's online, in person, by a book, is going to have a difficult time accomplishing the true behavior change. I think the books, the courses, etc., can expose ideas, but to drive behavior change, I think we need deeper coach education programs that rely more on face-to-face interactions, mentoring, developing coaches, master coaches working with new coaches, things of this nature that create more than just concepts, but really look at the behaviors of the coaches in their environment, evaluate, address those, help them, nurture them, teach them in the environment where they're coaching, as opposed to simply allowing coaches to pass a course and then take what they want, ignore what they don't want, and just move on and maybe just stay basically the same coach that they've always been.